Spread over 15,000 acres, the Tomahawk Ranch is a significant cattle producer in Alberta. While cattle are the business, there is a desire for this land to be more.
Yeah, absolutely. They're completely complementary things. You can have more wildlife and more cattle by managing the ranch in the right kind of way. And we use a term called regenerative ranching or regenerative grazing, regenerative agriculture to talk about those processes. And it's really ecologically focused. It's understanding what's happening with the plants and the soils and the microorganisms in the soils, every bit as much as it's about understanding the cattle or wildlife and their nutritional needs and their habitat and diet selection behaviors.
The program that brought the Tomahawk Ranch and the Alberta Conservation Association together is SHARP, which stands for Species Habitat Assessment and Ranching Project.
Yeah, when we come out to a property like this, we come out and conduct range and riparian health assessments and wildlife surveys that may include surveys for species such as amphibians, grouse, waterfowl, songbirds, and pollinators. And basically, we're trying to get an idea of what is occurring in terms of range and riparian health and wildlife biodiversity.
While large game animals are indeed found on the property, there were a few other surprises.
So we are out here looking for a red-sided garter snake den. So actually one of the ranch hands earlier when we've been on this property actually pointed it out to us. So they actually found the den and we came out and confirmed that it was a den, which is exciting and a unique feature to this property.
There is also a significant population of bats, up to the point that they require their own condo unit.
Yeah, so this is a bat condo, so it's an artificial structure for bats to come and use for roosting purposes. It's to help mitigate in areas that have the loss of their natural roosting habitat, or in cases where bats need to be excluded from buildings. So in this particular example, the landowner has bats on their property and nearby residential buildings. And although they are keen on maintaining and even enhancing bat numbers, they don't want bats within those buildings.
Other infrastructure added to this ranch included wildlife fencing. So this is a great example of how wildlife fences are being used, keeping cattle out of this special area, which was planted with some flowers earlier in the spring by Alberta Conservation Association staff members. And it's hoped that this will attract bees into the area next spring. And of course, we all know the importance of bees and their ability to pollinate. And another prime example of how a landscape like this can be utilized for different purposes. It's this kind of scientific expertise that Sheldon particularly appreciates when working with Alberta Conservation Association.
My interactions with the ACA have always led me to feel like they really care about the health of the overall system, not just the charismatic megafauna, the fun, sexy things to hunt. Right? They care about the balance of the whole system, and that makes them a great partner for us because we care about that balance.
There is even a benefit to hunters, as the Tomahawk Ranch will allow public access for hunting purposes.
Yeah, so certainly they need to contact us and receive access permission, but we do allow a degree of public hunting on the property. We're very aware of who is where, so we are involved in separating different hunting groups and working with the ACA to make sure that there's a balance and that the different species of interest out here aren't overhunted or underhunted relative to our property's needs, and understand that, Fish and Wildlife has their own regional objectives and unit-wide objectives. But we're also conscious of, well, what's here, what do we care about, and how are we interested in seeing that go forward.